Welcome to the Leikjarinn podcast. Yes, I'm doing more podcasts than one every half a year or so. Um, but I'm still learning. My microphone is pretty good, but it's not the Joe Rogan level. Even though this is a Joe Rogan level, I just haven't settings it up yet or leveled it up to my best ability. Also, excuse any coughing. After I did the podcast recording last night, my throat just kind of downgraded. But I've been drinking sugary stuff, which is probably not the way to go. Well, anyways, I got a guest again, and my guest is Egill Hansson. So, introduce yourself, my
Hello,
friend.
my name is Egill Hansson. I am a 3D animator. I am a video games player, and I am working on a video game that came out in early access very recently, a game called Starkheim Tournament, and we'll keep working on that. I'm also 3D animator, and also teach D&D. Um, I like jogging. This is like a dating profile now. It's like long walks on the beach and
The gym.
the gym, all of that good stuff. All of that good stuff.
So basically, he's saying he's better than me in every single level. God damn it! I do none of these things.
I didn't say that. I did not say
Well, you did write it here in the secret chat window here, private chat. I see it. I can see it.
that.
So, I'm interested to hear about the games you're working on. I know about some of them, and you have been very kind to send me like an alpha or alpha beta test, which I haven't
I
gotten
think
around to. That was Nano Kings, or maybe not Nano Kings.
which
No,
one?
I got quite a while ago. I got an alpha test. Like I could only play it for like a brief. Was that from you? Maybe it wasn't even from you.
No. The game that we're making is Starkheim Tournament.
Ah, I got that from you also. Well, the other game probably I didn't even get from you,
Mm.
but the tournament game I got it from you, and it was like it was so long ago. So like the game is
Oh, that was probably like an earlier version of it. It would probably not have the characters that we
mm.
have right now. Um, so
And
yeah, but
you are entering beta or release.
we released in early access
Mm.
because the nature of fighting games is such that, well, for one, we've spent a lot of time polishing the game. I'm the animator and the art lead, I guess you would call it. Though technically we are like a two-man team, but then we like hire some contractors. So like it's me doing the animation and the art stuff, and then
Yeah.
my friend Piotr, who is the game lead developer and main programmer. We have had like some help from others, including like we pay people to make music for us and for voice acting and even like some of the art stuff. But it's mostly been the two of us, and we spent a lot of time polishing it. It's also like a side project. Like this is not something that we do full time, which hopefully will change in
Mm.
the coming days. Um, the what was I saying? Yeah. It's just the two of us. So we spent a lot of time making sure that the core gameplay
Yeah.
is fun to play. Which is a fighting game. Each player picks a character. You got two characters, and you fight. And there's rounds, and you want the visuals to be good. You want the sound to be punchy. You want the animation to be snappy. You don't want it to feel too loose, and that has been reflected in all of the feedback we've gotten so far. Like everyone who plays it has said like the presentation is very good, which I'm
Yeah.
very happy, which is very it make me very happy. Um, but as with fighting games, like the only way to know like to balance them is to play them.
Yeah.
And so we were fully expecting once early access dropped that because we knew like some people who had been following us because we've shown the game off at conventions, I think like only one in Iceland, but like we've had a few conventions. No, technically two conventions in Iceland. Technically, I'll explain that later.
Yeah.
But then multiple conventions in Poland because
Ah.
I'm Icelandic and my friend is Polish,
Mm.
and so we've mostly been having conventions near us rather than traveling out, which we've thought about, but it's expensive, and one day, hopefully. Um, the all the feedback has been very positive, but that's sort of very limited in terms of people getting their hands on the game.
Yeah.
And the only way to balance and test fighting games is just to run sets, because on one hand you can find things in the game which might be overpowered, but you're not sure if unless you run it. And then you need to ask yourself, well, it's like if it's like a thing that is uh, overpowered, but it's difficult to do, then you gotta weigh it sort of like, well, it is cool if you can pull it off, but it is technically unfair, and
Mm.
then it sort of goes into sort of like how accessible you want the game to be versus like how much you want to give people the chance to like master it, because I think the game is fairly accessible. So as a fighting game, it is relatively simple. Like there's no combos or like long strings of combos that you need to memorize. It's all like you essentially have two buttons, which is like your normal and your special attack,
Yeah.
and then you have like you have up, down, like, or crouch. You have in the air, you have forward, backwards, and then neutral. And then though those things affect the what attack you do with those two buttons.
Yeah.
But that's sort of it. But then you take all those moves and you can chain them together. And some characters have more complex mechanics, where like it's like if you hit, you can then do another move. You can like keep the string going, and then you can like chain them together. So you create these sort of long combos out of relatively simple um, initial tools. So what ends up happening is that it's a simple game to play,
Yeah.
which we've seen with taking it to conventions, and especially when like children play it. It's like they are relatively like quick to pick it up.
Mm.
Uh, uh, Most of the time. Sometimes kids will just press the same button again and again and again.
Yeah.
And
Tekken style.
yeah. Well, like, and you see some people mashing. What is the most fun part? If whenever you're making stuff, if you make a game and you're watching people play it, and then you see them starting to lean forward
Mm. Yeah.
because they're like that, and then you're just like, got them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they're getting into it. You can see it.
Did you
Um,
have to like some games come to my mind, for example, like I guess like the newest game from Riot Games, the makers of League of Legends. They made some game called it's called K2SO or something really strange, but it's just League of Legends characters in a fighting format,
I
like a
think it's
fighting X. It's
2K,
very
two
strange.
XKO, 2XKO,
2KX,
the
2XKO,
2XKO.
yeah. So that was I tried it like briefly, but it was a demo that you could only not. I'm not even sure if it's called a demo. It was, I guess, a play test. I was only able to play it half a day, and then I couldn't play
Um,
anymore.
um, that one was free, right?
Yeah, maybe it
Because
was like a free test. Yeah.
here's the funny thing is like personally, I'm not the biggest fighting game fan,
Mm.
is in terms of like I like fighting games, but like I don't seek them out as much as my friend who is like the lead. I'm
Mm.
the thing that drew me to working on a fighting game is that it's a perfect excuse to animate a lot,
Yeah.
which is what I do like. And obviously, like a fighting game, you have a lot of characters, you have a lot of expressive moves and stuff like that. So that's like perfect, perfect way to like show off. Like, look how good my animation is.
Yeah.
Look at my drawings, showing off and all of that stuff. But for the most part, like I'm a very casual fighting game player. Like I'd maybe play like the Mortal Kombat with my friends. I'd play the Tekken games,
Yeah.
the Smash Brothers.
The only fighting game I played, like, I can't say a lot, but I played it like, I think it was almost an entire day, and I mean that's probably not a lot, but um, it is I can't even remember what it's called. Like it's Shovel Knight, but it's like the fighting game of Shovel Knight,
Oh, right,
Showdown or something. Shovel Showdown. I
right,
played the
right.
heck out of it. It's only because me and my friend we decided to check it out. So it was just me and my friend playing endlessly instead of me playing against other players,
Mhm.
which was an option, but we were just we had a lot of fun. But when I saw your game, uh, it brought me like I mean, it's been such a long time since I even tried it, but just the
Mhm.
look of it, I was like, this is kind of looking like uh, the Shovel Knight, Shovel Showdown, but only because it's like because Shovel
Pixel art.
Knight is like 8-bit, 16-bit, but it's kind of in the middle, and I feel like this game is kind of in the middle between
So
8 and 16.
I can actually talk about that because I one of the assignments that I did in my BA is where we actually made like I talked about like the retro revival in video games.
Yeah,
Essentially, it's why are so many games that are like new games coming out? Why are they going back to the old visual styles? Is it just nostalgia and stuff like that? Which there's definitely part of it nostalgia. Part of it is also like how any art medium sort of becomes defined by its limitations.
yeah,
And so pixel art is like pixel art is sort of defined by its limitations. The fact that you have a very limited resolution sprites, and is in the case of the old NES games, and for Shovel Knight is where they deliberately go, we are going to limit our color palette as well.
yeah,
And I do that too for Starkheim, but not I'm not as strict with it. But
mm,
I do tend to be like I select my color palette and I decide depending on the subject, if it's a character versus like a stage, I might have like a wider one, but I usually pick like these are my colors and I'm not going to like I'm only going to be using them. I'm not going to like once I have these colors down, um that's going to be the colors that I use.
yeah,
Um but I would say that our game is maybe closer to I guess SNES, Super Nintendo inspired rather than
mm,
Nintendo. So it's more like
yeah.
16-bit inspired. But then, of course, it's running 1080 on a
Yeah, and the
modern system.
frames, all
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. It's really
Yeah.
smooth, and then you've got like particle effects, and all the niceties of modern gaming. Um, have you played the System Shock One remake by Night?
Um, I I had it on GOG and I played it for like a couple of streams in a row, but I haven't touched it since then. But like what I noticed, and I want to see this in more games, is like let's just say you're in a room and you see monitors and like though everything's kind of green and blue in the game, and when you go really close, especially when you go like super close, like you're just like doing this to the wall,
Yeah.
you can just see it's just tiny
Pixel.
little voxel pixels, and I
Yeah.
love it.
I really enjoy the visual style of that game.
Also, the
And
lighting somehow is also pixeled, but it's
because like
still light.
the because the textures are uh the textures are very deliberately low resolution,
Hmm.
but then the lighting engine is very modern. Like you've got like bloom and you've got but they very like carefully tweak it so and that's kind of one thing that I love really like about like this new era with like everyone has like these super powerful computers, but instead of going for super fidelity, you're going for like let's pick very stylized things, but we
Yeah.
can still use this like impressive technology, like for really cool lighting. Another game that did something similar is the game Valheim. I don't know if you played that
Yeah.
one,
Yeah.
where it has
Yeah.
like super like stylized, somewhat pixelated textures and stuff, but then it has like very cool ambient effects and lighting
I used to
built
call that
into the
game
stuff.
the 1 gigabyte game because at one point it was just 1 gigabyte,
Oh
and it was
yeah.
this massive, 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 massive world. And I was like, how is it just 1 gigabyte? And it's still around that. It's
Oh yeah,
crazy.
that's something. That's something they didn't notice. So like, we're very proud of the fact that our game is at the current time it's 250 megabytes.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
So, and there's definitely an element where we were like, I don't know. This is something that I think that like people don't seem to care about optimization as much these days, and I think that is like mostly causing like the bloat. That's why these games are so big. It's not that they are like it's like not a game that is 200 gigs is not, you know, 100 like twice as good as a game that's 100 gigs. If anything, it's just extremely unoptimized, and that's
Yeah,
why it's so
I have
large.
two examples of this. Like, for example, when everyone was playing Call of Duty, like the one where you jump out of the plane and you're like
You're
play.
gonna have to narrow it down.
Yeah, I was thinking, yeah, Call of Duty jumping out of plane, right? It was like a battle royale Call of Duty type of thing. I forgot what it's
Still, that's
called.
like I think there's like four
Yeah,
Call of Duties that that could describe.
I forgot the name of it, but that one was like almost 200 gigabytes. And sometimes I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I'm gonna play this weekend, so I didn't touch him for like 5 days, and then I was like, oh, I'm
Mhm.
gonna play it tonight with my friends, and then there was some type of an update, and the update is like 30 gigabytes, like
Yeah, that's a
shadow technical update or whatever. I was like, what? Now I have to wait like an hour or
yeah.
something
This is
just to
absurd.
play it. And the other one is that surprised me is like I was playing a lot of Hades, like the first
Mm.
Hades game by Supergiant Games.
I will
Uh
admit that I've seen those games. They look amazing. I
oh,
have not played them.
I have a t-shirt, hat, poster. Don't get me started on Hades.
All
If
right.
I recommend any game for you to play after this podcast, I'm surrounded by video games.
Hmm.
Hey, Dark Cloud, cool. I'm surrounded by
Okay.
it. I highly recommend Hades. And I know Hades 2 just came out. They just released another one. But what I'm gonna go on about this is Hades 2 came
Hmm.
and they released in early access the like not the full game, not even close, but what they released in early access was
Hmm.
like 5 times larger and more content than the entire first game. And I was like,
Oh.
wait a second. Hades 1 is like, let's say 12 gigabytes. But Hades 2, the early access, like small version, it's like
Hmm.
9 gigabytes. Like, how is that possible? It's 5 times
Mm.
bigger than and that's also optimization. And now the game is fully out,
Yep.
and it's still 1 gigabyte less than their first game. And I was
Smart.
like, wait a second here, wait just a second. So yeah, I highly recommend Hades 1, but like it's so hard when you have two awesome games. You know how this feels like when you're trying to recommend someone to like you say, yeah, you can play the first game, but like the
Hmm.
second game is like, oh my god. But still the first game is oh my god. But the second game is like two oh my gods. But still you have to play the first one too. So
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely games where, like game series, or even like TV shows or movies and stuff like that, where
yeah,
it's like you want to get the entire context
yeah.
of the thing. So
Like what's Game of Thrones? But stop when it's season 6.
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
it's
And
hard to
then
explain to people.
everyone lived happily ever after, right?
Yeah, right. I'll explain the rest later. But yeah, I highly recommend Hades 1. Like, my God, it's hard to explain. I watched the documentary, Developing Hell from
Mm,
NoClip. NoClip is like my favorite channel, basically.
yeah.
They make video game documentaries, and they made this famous documentary about the development of Hades, and it happened through COVID. So they were
Right,
one.
right, right.
Well, they weren't the first companies to be in a studio, and then now everyone's just doing it from home, but they were able to go through like this hardship of COVID. That was really interesting to see, and then going back to the studio,
Mhm.
and it was called Developing Hell because it's a pun. Like developing a game can be hell, like crunching and all that.
Mhm.
And then there's they are actually developing hell itself because you play a character trying to escape hell.
Yeah. Okay.
You're going up instead of
Mhm.
down, and so it's like a pun because the company is like very much full of humor, but also seriousness, and then character design, and the only game I ever played by them was Bastion way back in the day, and
I
then
remember Bastion. That
they
game
have
was good.
made other games. Transistor is it was great,
Hmm.
and I haven't really played Pyre, but Hades one I've played. Like the game I've played the most in my entire life is probably GTA San Andreas, but like to be able to see it on Steam, let's say, it would have to
Hmm.
be War Thunder. I've played War Thunder, I think 6,000 hours.
Oh
Um,
boy.
I'm a pilot. I fly the planes a lot, but then I would say Hades is probably my second most played, and I don't even want to know what it is. But it surprised me when I played Hades 2. I was like, how can they top themselves? They cannot top Hades 1. It's not possible.
Mm.
It's still at like 98% like rated on Steam. Like it's like overall like it has one of the best reviews I think in history of Steam. Not the best, but just it's probably in the top 5 of the history of Steam being the like just a perfect type of thing.
Hmm.
And then the second comes out, and in the first day it gets like half. It goes half. Like, can you imagine this type of a success? It's unbelievable. So yeah, I recommend Hades one, and I highly recommend the documentary Developing Hell. Of course, there's a lot of spoilers for Hades one watching the documentary, but
Hmm.
but you can. I always tell people play Hades one for like 10 hours, and then reward yourself by watching the documentary, and that will boost your interest even more to just delve back in. So yeah,
Right. Right.
but
Yeah. That. Yep.
like you are developing a game right now,
Hmm.
and this you were on my stream quite some time ago, and we were kind of talking back and forth a little bit about game development during my stream. Like you
Hmm.
weren't here, you were in the chat, but we were talking about like I was asking you like why do games take such a long time to make? Why can't they just pump them out? I guess you can explain a little bit because I just want the game now, but I know it takes a long time.
Well, yes. The I mean the real answer is that making anything good takes time.
Yeah,
Um, in spite
Cyberpunk.
of yes, I mean that came out and then it they needed more time.
Yeah,
So
like their quote was like ready when it's ready. Uh okay. They
eh,
kind of failed that.
really though.
That was
But
like a famous quote. Ready when it's
uh
ready.
so obviously like if you have never but like I know for instance you draw. I've seen your drawings
Yeah.
and they're very good. But you know the time that it takes to
Yeah.
one develop that talent, and
Yeah.
then like even when you have the talent, you can draw
Mm.
maybe a little bit faster, but you still need the dedicated time to that. And
Yeah.
then of course, with time comes like the monetary justification for it, which is obviously it's like if it's something that you're doing in your free time, then
Mm.
all of the time that you're spending working on the game is time that you're not spending working. So
Yeah.
then you need your side jobs. Obviously, that's going to slow it down. Um, and at there is definitely something to be said for at like the higher levels. There's a joke which I don't remember where it's from, but like where some people would say like where it's like, well, if it takes a woman 9 months to give birth to one baby, then surely it will take 9 women 1 month to give birth to a baby. Which is
Yeah.
like, there are some people that have that mentality when it comes to making games, which
Yeah.
obviously is not like you can delegate some work, but at some point, like you need to like well, and especially with like animations, there's a lot of tools, particularly for 3D animations, which you can use to make things animate faster. But with 2D animation, especially with pixel art, there's really little in terms of like shortcuts. It's just me drawing those sprites.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like there's that's
And
just
even before I do like a finished I guess drawing, I do like a little bit of a thumbnail first, and then I do like
Mhm.
a little bit of a sketching, and then I finally start it, and then it might take me like 5 days
Yeah,
to
yeah, exactly.
complete it and all that. So it's like, yeah, similar, very similar process. It's like a
And
3D
that,
printer.
yeah, pretty much. But there's also like the factor of like you know, like these things take time. And then in terms of, I couldn't really answer much about the programming other than what my friend tells me. But usually the issue with programming, but I guess it's also technically true with like drawing and stuff like that, is that oftentimes you have a problem, whether it's programming related or it's art related.
Yeah,
Uh, and often when it comes to art or making games, like there isn't really one correct solution. Like depending on the problem. What I'm thinking about is like in terms of balance. Like what is this move balance? We're not sure. Or like what color should this character be? Or like how should it be shaded? And it's like all of these stuff. Like these things take like artistic. These are like artistic values that you just need to make a value judgment on. And because on one hand, when there's only one solution, then it's like then you know what to do. Then it's like, all right, we just move towards this point. When there's a multitude of things that you could do, well, then you need to test. Like, do you have
yeah,
time to test each one and to like figure out, okay, this one is best for us right now, or it's like this one had like this solution has certain advantages, or but this one is also good, but it has this problem. And that's something that I learned a lot in BA, because like I'm like, even though like the game that we're making is just 2D sprite art and it's made in Game Maker, which is primarily a 2D
hmm.
program for making 2D games. I believe Undertale is in Game Maker, and
Yeah,
some other like big successful games. But I am educated in like 3D animation, and so when we were doing like our final project, like so much time just spending on uh like not solving a problem, but rather like figuring out if we can solve a problem a certain way.
yeah.
And then you're like, it's like, okay, we can do it this way, but this takes a really long time. Do we want to like go with this solution, or do I want to spend more time searching for a quicker solution? And uh, so, and that in turns is like when you talk about like game studios having R&D budgets, it's like how much time and money does the studio have to kind of waste time, but like waste time productively? Because
Hmm.
effectively, when you're doing research and development, like figuring stuff out, like you need to justify to someone who is trying to save money that it's like, we need to spend this much time, ergo money, uh, doing something that might be a waste of time. But then we'll know that it doesn't work.
Yeah,
And I don't know how much you have experience dealing with like executive people or something. They don't like to hear that.
yeah.
They don't like to hear the idea that you might be wasting money.
The only thing I've ever had that is maybe similar was like way back in the day, like 2010, 2011, when I was. It's strange to say, but I was like starting to do a live stream then. I started like 2009,
Mhm.
and then 2011 I was starting to just know the right people, and I was getting rated by like sometimes 500 people, 500 viewers, and then 800, and sometimes I was getting like these daily rates from two developers that I knew very well at this point. Just out of the blue we started talking, and then we started talking on Skype, and then we started talking like this.
Mhm.
And I was talking to Omid Dariani, which was one of the leads of EverQuest Next, which was cancelled. But then he
Mm.
also was not the developer, but he was like what is it called?
The lead
Excuse
or
ex ex
executive director.
ex yeah, executive director on another EverQuest game, but it was called EverQuest Landmark.
Okay.
Um, and that is one
Did
of the
that
first
come out?
games. Yeah, but
Okay.
it's dead now. But
Oh.
it was one of the first games that made voxels, like you could like go down the earth and everything. I mean, it's your Minecraft, but like this was more like For example, Astroneer has the same thing. Everything is just kind
Oh,
of
okay,
voxels.
I see what you
Yeah,
mean.
you go down, and even No Man's Sky has this thing. But this was one of the first games, and I was streaming this game basically like on an allowance. Like I was getting like paid every time I streamed it, but
Oh,
I had
I
to
see.
do it like 6 hours, and I had to do it specific days. So this was becoming a job, which was great. But there was a
Mhm.
couple of times where I only streamed it for 4 because I didn't think it was like that much, like hello for. I mean, 4 hours not a lot, but
Mhm.
I needed to go to the store or whatever, and then I got like I didn't get fired, but I got like this meeting one time, and I was like, "You're not using the Monster Energy ads in the corner,
Oh.
and it's in your contract." I was like, "I never signed a contract. What do you mean?" And then it was also like he was these. It wasn't Omid himself. It was like other dudes. Uh,
Right.
but I was like honored, like, oh my god, I'm being yelled at by people that are making EverQuest landmark. It's amazing. Please keep on going,
I
baby.
must be important if someone
Oh
is
my
yelling at
god.
me.
Yeah, so but that was fun. But then I also was I was like I guess fired. It's strange to say fired, but they
So
just
you were let
kicked me out.
go.
Yeah, they kicked
Oh,
me out of this gamer group that I was a part of, which was I learned many years later that was basically quite a lot of a scam. I forgot the name of it, but this
uh,
was behind my old channel, the Fun of Classic, and
mhm,
I was playing uh, Space Engineers, the first one,
mhm,
the like the alpha test was just super cool to be a part of this thing.
mhm.
And then, I just didn't take it, I guess, as seriously as I was supposed to or whatever, and I was like, let go. But that's the only two examples that I have. But I mean, it was really cool knowing Omid Dariani, and I'm not sure what he's doing now, but he's like such a cool guy. And there was another streamer, her name was Ara Gaming,
Mhm.
and she actually had she was married to another streamer, and they had this huge conflict in their lives, and like when they got
Ooh.
divorced, they had to have like 50-50. And Ara Gaming is a company, basically. Like her stream channel is
Oh,
a company, and he took it. Can you believe it? He took her company identity and everything away from her, and she's not allowed to stream.
damn,
And
that's
she
crazy.
was great. It's horrible, man, horrible. But yeah, she was a huge inspiration to kind of teach me how just kind of like to talk to the camera and things. Even though all this is thanks to Gixty17, which is a guy I'll talk about in another specific podcast. Which is I'm gonna call it a self cast, where it's just me.
Mhm.
It's not a vlog because it's a podcast, but it's just me, and I have topics for me to
Mhm.
you, the viewers. But
Right.
yeah, but I want to talk to you about like well, before I talk about that, I'm not sure why I thought you guys were working on two games.
No.
The fighting game and the
StarCam is our
Nano.
only game,
Wow.
and it's our first game.
I thought you
Uh,
guys were working on the fighting game and then this Nano Kings game, which is kind of like Vampire Survivors, but it's like Vikings.
I have no idea what this Nano Kings
Wow. Who? Man, I have to
game
find
is.
the developer. I don't even know. Now I'm confused. It's like a game made by Icelandic developers, and it's like jumping on this wagon of Vampire Survivor, basically. But like
Really? I suppose.
it's a Viking universe.
Right. So maybe because usually like the Icelandic development scene, there is like a group like called GMI, Game Makers Iceland, and like IGI, kind of like was Icelandic game industry.
Hmm.
Which they've had like events where like people come together
Yeah,
to
maybe I've
like
seen like a table or
meet
something.
stuff. Well, it's like I'm trying to think about if they are Icelandic, like they were not at the last meetup, but I don't know. Maybe there was actually like a lot of people there, so
Yeah,
I'll need to uh, keep up with that. Um, yeah,
yeah. It's called
thankfully,
Nano Kings.
Nano Kings is it on Steam?
Yeah, I think it's early access soon. But like, I want to talk about early access because I am a
Yeah.
early access like there's so many games that I have gone all the way with in early access, and when I do it, I don't just I'm not getting the game to be able to play it before anyone else, or like I want to play it now. When
Mhm.
I go early access, I am full force playing it, and then I am the guy that goes in the bugs, and I actually write like what happened, and if
Mhm.
there's anything that I noticed just personally that I think is like unnecessary, or like why isn't this like this or whatever, even though it's like selfless, but I mean this button is there for a reason, right? So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just giving like feedback, and there was one game where I was trying to tell them that the one of the characters in the game was the logo, like the desktop logo, like when you click the game on your desktop,
right.
the thumbnail, whatever,
Yeah.
had a picture of a guy from one of their other games, and no one was just kind of like fixing this. So I was like, "Hello," and then they fixed it. I was like, "Yeah, I'm a game developer now." Yeah.
You
So,
sure are, buddy.
but yeah, there's a couple of things that I was like just a tiny little bit of a part of. Like for example, there's an Icelandic company called 1922, and they're making cards, which is a
Oh
World War
yeah,
II card game.
I've been. They have been at the IGI
Yeah,
at
and
some of the
I
events that
love. I mean, I love World War II aerial combat and just the planes in general. Sure, I like the tanks and the ships and all that stuff, but like the planes, I'm like a enthusiast.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, this is so cool. Iceland, the company, World War II, a card game from there. And I did a couple of like really, really early stuff trying it out for them. And one of the
Yep.
main developers, I had them on like Skype calls. And then I was like, you know what? There's just one thing at the moment missing that I can't believe is not in your game. He's like, what is it? I was like, I have played Hearthstone a lot. I'm wearing a Hearthstone goddamn shirt right now. Hearthstone was like a huge part of my life, and there was a time where I could just kind of quit my job and
Hmm.
kind of become a Hearthstone streamer, but I was just so afraid.
Right.
Like I was just like I couldn't do it, but I probably could have. But I told them like when you're thinking about what to do
Mhm.
with your cards that you have in your hand, you always kind of click on things on screen.
I said the same thing to them
Yeah. And I was like
when
you have a 3D model of a knife, and it's obviously a 3D model, and then
Mhm.
there's like a gun on the other end. I
Yeah.
want to be able to they don't have to move when you click it, but I want to click them. I want to hear something. And I was like,
Yes.
if you're already gonna do that, when you click the knife, I want them to jiggle. The gun
Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
do it because that would actually be weird. It's a gun, but the knife would probably do it. And
Yeah.
I'm unsure if they did, but the one thing they did do, which was for me, is when you click anywhere else, there's like a tap.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
a dust on the table.
That that kind of
I'm a game developer.
that
Yeah.
kind of like resonant feedback is
Yeah.
so it's like a
It's a
small thing.
small thing, but it is so important. So important.
Yes.
But
Um.
yeah,
Yeah.
I wonder if when you're working on your game, is there anything have you ever gotten a feedback similar to this? Like when this guy jumps and does a strike down, I want the animation to be like this or whatever.
So, not most of the feedback that we have received is mostly in terms of mechanics and balance. And I
Mm.
credit that to my friend Piotr, the lead, because he has a really good eye for punchy, fast animations and the what is it called? It's called like game juice, but it's
Yeah, like
like
a oomph.
you know, yeah, the oomph. Like you have the particle effects, the sound
Yeah.
effect, you have like the screen shake, not too much, just the right amount. You have all like the little sparkles, to sell the hits, and the voice acting. We have voice acting in the game, and all of these, like he has an exceptionally good. As I said, like the present, like people have been universally positive on the presentation. Most of the feedback, even though some of the like even though the balance is off in some ways,
Yeah.
because like we have people who are like really good at fighting games, like I guess you would say like FGC pros and stuff, who are
Mm.
playing the game, who are like very quick in finding like broken combos and stuff.
Have you been surprised by something?
Yeah, definitely. Like how fast people are be able to like pick it up. But here's the thing: it's like even though they were finding like overpowered combos, you can call them that, they were
Yeah,
still having a lot of fun with it.
yeah, yeah,
They were not like it wasn't like they were finding overpowered combos and then like not liking it. It was like universally fun the entire time, and they were like very like they've been very like helpful in communicating to us like you know like very exactly. It's like I do this, then this happens, and uh, but as for like just well, I mean sometimes people find bugs and we fix them,
yeah,
but it is very fun to have a dialogue with the community, and we are very open. So the company, we're not on a company officially. I guess we're a team called Project Mox, and then the game is Starcraft Tournament.
mm,
Uh, uh, we just what was I saying? Oh yeah, we very open about being sort of community forward. So like we have our Discord where we like talk to the people who play the game, and we've
yeah,
just like thrown out there. It's like, hey, what do you guys think of this? Or like, should we focus more on like balance, or do you want to like should we focus on the new character stuff like that? What do you think of the animations? Like just like you know like you with some of the developers that apparently you have
yeah,
interacted with, versus just like very open communication. And I mean, we can do that because we're such a like small team. It would be kind of difficult to do that if like the game blew up. I mean, that would be good because if that be mean that we'd be more successful, but it would be more
yeah,
difficult to manage. Like, we
yeah.
would like
All the
go
success. Yeah,
start the company. We'd need to hire probably like someone to officially manage all the social media stuff, which has been very it's very funny. Like I've been spending a lot of time this past week because the game came out in early access last Friday. I think it's been like yeah, it's been like out for a week now, and we're very happy with how it's been performing. But like I've been spending a lot of time sending emails and talking to people and stuff, and not actually working on the game.
yeah,
And
yeah,
part of me is just like, all right, I want someone else to answer emails and stuff, so I can go back to animating,
yeah, yeah.
so I can actually make the damn thing.
But it
But
reminds me a little bit
it's
of like
very
the development of like Hades, like about the combos. Like they just released the early access version, and then people started streaming it, and there was like this crazy thing that people started doing, and they were
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
you know what, we're not even gonna fix it because this is community figuring out combo. This is
Yes,
not from us.
we did definitely have that. So I don't know how familiar you are with fighting game terminology. Do you know what an infinite is in a fighting game? Or maybe
um,
you can guess what it means.
like when you the only thing that came into my mind is like let's say Tekken, and you just are you talking about spamming
Well,
the move?
well, it's not spamming the move. It's like
Like
a combo that you can do, which your enemy is stuck. It's like you do a move where it stuns the
yeah,
enemy.
yeah, he's like at the end of the fighting box, and you just like spam him to the box, and he keeps on
Yeah,
just
yeah.
falling on you,
For
and you
example,
keep hitting him or something.
and there have been like some of the players they found infinites, but we have like a counter system to counter that.
Mm.
But but some of these, as I mentioned before, some of these infinites are very difficult to pull off, and but they are very like fun if you can manage it. So then it's like the question of like, well, it's like we could like balance it so you can't, so this doesn't become an infinite, but would that make the game more or less fun? So then it's like then we need to like have a question, have a discussion about fun versus balance. And
Yeah,
obviously, we want the game to be somewhat balanced, but we are kind of leaning more in the direction of fun, which is how like the counter system work, which is like you have like three counters, which like the idea is basically it's like all right, if you're caught in a loop, you use your counter, and now you're out again. And
yeah,
if you can't like get out three times, then I guess it's curtains for you, buddy. So
yeah,
um, but uh, as with like early access game, it's in development, so like we might change that in the future. Um, but we are currently like we are taking feedback from the players who all seem to be having a lot of fun with the game so far, even like in its early access state, which is a great sign, and we like, want to keep it that way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so like yeah, like getting communicating with your players is fun because like ultimately it's like you're making the game that you want to make, but also like for people. Uh, like
I wonder about
you
like when you
yeah.
put a game out on Steam,
Hmm.
because I'm the guy that clicks play or download or install. I've
Hmm.
never been on the other side of the Steam wall because I saw it briefly in the documentary about Hades, for example. Like
Hmm.
there was like this big release button, like
Yep.
release game type of thing, and they were
Yeah,
like, "Holy shit!" When we press it, it's like out there, man.
yeah, it's big and green.
Yeah, that's
Like
quite
you go
interesting.
on the site and it's like yeah, it's a big green button that says release game.
And can you see like a lot of, or do you have to use a website like when you put the game out there? I'm not talking about like how much your revenue is, but I mean more like can you see like downloads? Can you
Yep.
see deaths? Can you see like data?
Oh no. So like Steam Works only has like the like sales stuff. Like we can see like how many copies, we can see returns, we can see wish lists, we can see which people buy their own buy their own copy versus which are gifted. We can sort by region and
Ah,
all of that stuff. But we do not have like we're not collecting data from
like data, yeah.
players. um, that might be something we look into when we develop the online thing for the game. Because currently, the way to play online is to use Steam Remote or Parsec, which is a third party software thing, which is not ideal. But um, we are currently like that is on the list of like things that we are looking into, which is we want to get like integrated network stuff. And I think that part of that we could, I don't know if we will, but we could like collect data which is like the I'm thinking specifically how like Capcom can Capcom with Street Fighter knows like what characters are being picked the most, like which
Yeah,
matchups are like who is winning the most against which characters, like which,
yeah,
and then you can balance around that. Currently, that's not necessary because we just talk to the people that play our game. But again, if the game blows up and now then you have 10,000 people all talking,
yeah,
then it would
yeah.
not be. I don't think then that would be reasonable to talk to everyone. So then you would probably need some sort of like um, data collection. Like you would need to get like an analyst to come in
Yeah.
with a chart to be like,
I think it's a
look
really
at the
cool
line.
thing because, like, for example, you can make it funny in your community because, like, with Baldur's Gate 3, when the early access thing came out,
Yeah,
everyone was like, everyone is playing Guy like Gale, and everyone is dying here, here, and here in the map, and they used it as a promotional material.
yeah.
Like, I guess everyone was playing Gale.
I think the funniest one with that was like it's like when they called out at the community and was like, you people are all boring. You're all playing like human fighter."
Yeah,
It's
right.
like
Yeah,
you can play an orc, a dwarf, a Yankee, like
yeah.
a dark elf. No, everyone's playing human fighter. You boring people.
Yeah,
I thought
I
that
love you can
was
use like data to your advantage, like for a funny and just educational. Like you can see like maybe there's a character that you made that you think like, man, I don't know if people are gonna like pick him often, and then you release the game and you're like, what the hell? Everyone's playing him.
yeah.
Why? I
It's
want to know why.
um yeah, it's been also very fun to see like because obviously like people are talking about feedback for the game,
Mm,
for like the visuals and stuff, but also like the design. Like people like the characters, and so far we have not. There hasn't really been a fan favorite. It kind of depends on who you're talking to. There's a
mm,
because we got four characters in the early access. There's Lucius, there's Abaddon, there's Valentina, and there's Grinnis, and they all have like different. They have all different profiles and different moves and all of that. Abaddon. Oh well, okay, we'll start with Lucius. He is your knight in shining armor. He's got a shield and a sword. He's a good old hero. He's
Yeah.
got a he fights and he can jump around and stuff. Abaddon's a dark knight who made a pact for dark magic, and he can has blood flame, and he has a big sword. Heavy, slow attacks, but hits really hard. Valentina is a pirate captain queen. She has a cutlass rapier kind of thing, and she's
Yeah.
fast. She's like a fencer, and she's very mobile. Grynis is a queen of the Drati race, which are a native race to Starkheim, which have like these crystalline horns that grow out of them, uh, and they have sort of a connection to the natural world. And she has like this chain weapon. She is effectively like she has the scorpion get over here
Oh yeah, nice.
move. But all of the characters we have so far play very, even though like everyone has the same controls obviously, but they all have like distinct feels. And yeah, so depending on which one you ask, like people seem to like gravitate towards character, which is good because it means that like the characters are distinct, and so that people feel the need to gravitate towards them. And then it's just like for instance, Abaddon is really popular in Poland. I don't know why. Like according to my friend Piotr, it's like he is number one in Poland. But whereas like we had like a convention like in Iceland, and everyone was saying that like Abaddon was trashed here. And so then that also like gets back to you of like balance, where it's like, well, in this part of the world, everyone here says like that he's top tier. Everyone here says he's trash tier. So I guess he kind of must be balanced, right?
And it's kind of funny and interesting when you have like when you at some point will have more. The thing
Hmm.
about having let's say uh, like a small amount, then you have like not issues with like it getting boring or whatever, but just issues like there's a small amount that you can do with these characters, but it's still like fun, and then you bring out like maybe like three more, and then maybe two of them are from the same like that race that with
Hmm.
the horn, but the other one is like maybe like a bigger guy, and he has like I don't know, like only a shield, but how is that shield a weapon as well? Stuff like that. I'm just like
Well, I
speaking out of my
can.
ass here, but like it's interesting when you have too many like in League of Legends. I'm just like sweating when I'm about to pick a character. I don't know what to pick, so I just want to have a random button. But yeah, there's strange how you can balance these things. So I would say medium large is good. Like
Yeah,
10
so we have
characters, solid.
well we have 14 planned,
All right.
uh, which um I mean, I think that's a decent amount, especially since it's our first game. But then, like, because I'm currently looking at the list, because that's the thing. It's like we have so many more ideas, and we keep
Yeah.
having more ideas for characters, but we had to like make like a line. We need to stop somewhere because otherwise this is never gonna get finished.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it's 14, uh, and then but trust me, there's a list of
Yeah. Like a
like
dream.
I don't know if it's like next game or future games or like DLC or something. We're probably not gonna do. I don't know. We'll see. Like because obviously like you don't want to throw away a good idea, but you gotta like limit it somewhere. So like we'll see how if we can use these other characters
And like
in
talking
some.
about characters, like with me, this is probably like with you and other people. Like let's say there's a game and let's say 20 characters. I always look, is there a pirate guy?
Mhm.
Is there a frog guy? If there's a frog guy, I'm gonna be the frog. I'm gonna click on the frog guy. Or is there like some type of a like my favorite element in anything? I always go for the water first. And I,
Mm.
I always say like people like water and the ice is not the same, but I'm like it's frozen water. Okay, I'm gonna go for it. I don't care. So I
Right.
always pick specific elements, and if there's a character that doesn't have an element, then I pick like I guess class. He's a pirate, I would probably like pick her if I
Mm-hmm.
would, play today.
Yep.
So I was wondering, like, is there a character that isn't out yet that you're like, man, I'm excited for people to try this guy out or this girl out or whatever?
Yes.
The dragon dude with the shield and the sword.
Uh, we don't have a. We don't have a dragon dude.
You should have a dragon, a
I'm
water dragon.
trying. Well, I'm thinking of like because I don't want to like spoil anything. Like
Yeah, no, no.
I'm thinking about like the next. See, it's different for me because I'm like on one hand it's like the playing of the thing. There's one character which I'm looking very much forward to animating.
Mm.
Because it's gonna be because I'm curious as to like what design we obviously have like some of the basic designs for the we have all the characters written down like in
Yeah.
terms of like moves and like what their deal is, but we are very sort of free flowing of not thinking too much ahead when it comes to like their visual design. But there is one character. Now there is two. I don't know. There's a lot because again, like we had a huge list and we had to narrow it down. So the 14 that we narrowed it down to are all pretty like. I'm looking forward to like well animating them and then also like seeing other people play them
Mm.
because also it's like here it's like you see this all the time with like people who make games are usually not like the best at their own games,
Yeah.
which is like what we saw when all like the FGC people were playing, like they were pulling off like some combos which like I could never, like I probably still can't do some of those combos because I just like pictures, I just draw, I like the drawings.
Yeah, this made me think about something I often think about. Like, for example, I keep on bringing up Hades, but it's just there's so much. You would love this as as a developer to watch this documentary because there was just so much about that
It's no
aspect of
clip,
it. Of
right?
course, huh? No
It's no
clip,
clip.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and also there's a documentary about Dwarf Fortress. There's a documentary
Oh
about
yeah. Speaking of the
uh
fact that I don't really play a lot of fighting games, it's like I play games like Dwarf Fortress, I play
yeah.
like Mountain Blade. I played recently a game called like Song of Six. It's all like city builder management kind of game.
I
Yeah.
got hats for, like, I have this tier list. Like, if a game is good, like really good, and I'm really into it, like really into it, I get a T-shirt. But if it's
Uh,
a game I'm like, oh my god, I get a hat. Like,
okay, so it's a Leikjarinn's hat of approval.
if, yeah, it's a hat of approval. Basically, if I have a hat, oh my lord. Um, so yeah, I was like in that they are really good, like the guys that stream the game from the company. They are like the lead guys of the
Mm,
company, but
right.
they are also the public face of the company. Like, they do the live streams, and when they release the patch or a DLC, they would stream the DLC live on a live stream, and they're like really good. And
Mm,
then I think sometimes, like, when you make a video game, like when some games come out and they have like all these bugs and it's like clearly rushed.
mhm.
It always brings me back to like the old documentaries from Bethesda when when they did Morrowind and the famous documentary about Oblivion. They
Yeah.
said, like, we have dudes that like play through the entire thing, but then they said like a really important thing, like, yeah, but they only did the story, right? And you guys are never gonna do the story, so why even bother?
Oh, oh, Todd.
Oh, it just works.
It just works.
So I keep wondering, like, when you're making a game, obviously you don't have a time to, but there was actually days at the company in the month. Every month they had a couple of days, like not a lot, but let's say 2 days, where they all would sit down in this like gameplay room, and they would just
Mm,
sit down and just one of them would just kind of play through the entire thing.
right.
And Hades is a game about
So I mean that goes.
dying, but still.
Yeah, I mean that goes back into what I said earlier, which is like, yeah, you want to have time to test your game, to test your product, if you want to like talk about games in that way. But that
Yeah.
takes time, and in business that means money. So then it's just like, how much time, ergo money, do you want to spend on fixing? Like, we didn't like for Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, didn't they like say that they finished the game and then spent like a year polishing it?
Yeah.
And Nintendo can do that
Mm.
because no one is gonna tell Nintendo you need to release the game now, and they're like, no, we're gonna we're gonna
Yeah.
do this right. Yeah. So
And
so
Nintendo is also like, oh, you're making a game where you have this open world Nintendo 64 style, but you're playing as Samus from Metroid. No, no, no. We're gonna
no no
delete
no
this
no
project.
no 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 no.
Even though it's the best idea we have ever seen in our lives, but no, we're gonna delete this project.
Yeah, Nintendo, like, for better or
While
for
Bethesda
worse.
is like, yeah, make a whole game with the Skyrim engine. Yeah, sure, no problem.
Yeah, for better or for worse, Nintendo is very protective of its IP.
Yeah, yeah,
Similar company, which is not technically a gaming company. It's technically not, is Games Workshop, because I'm into Warhammer.
yeah.
If you look at if you can see on my bathroom table, no, no, my kitchen table is covered in like
Yeah,
paints
I
and
saw like you
stuff.
posted about and about that. I was thinking like, wait, they're gonna be releasing soon Warhammer Survivors, which is Vampire Survivors, but they're
Oh,
clearly working together.
oh yeah, yeah. No, I thought you were talking about the fact that like they're releasing 11th edition, and like right before this podcast started, my girlfriend sent me like an update of like new orc figurines. So like I was like,
Ah,
"Ooh, once this interview is over, I'm gonna go look at some little toys and some little
some little
orcs.
dudes.
Yeah, I'm gonna go look at some orcs because I'm
Hey,
building an orc army.
talking
So I'm
about
very
that,
excited. Oh,
look at
oh,
that.
oh! That's wait, what's Tintin's? What's his name in English?
Uh,
Do you remember?
so the dog of Tintin or Tinni is like in Icelandic it's Toppi. In English it's Snowy, but the original name
Mm.
for for the dog is Malou in France.
Ah, right, right,
And
right.
Tintin is like Tintin everywhere, but Iceland. It's like Tinni.
Mm, yes.
And maybe somewhere it's like Tuntun, but who knows? But Captain Haddock is Kaftin.
Oh, Kolfinna. Nej,
Kolbit Kaftin.
Kolbit kraftig.
So yeah, like when I was little, I thought Tintin was Icelandic, all of it, because like it's misleading. Because in the I own the entire thing on VHS,
Ah, yeah, the
the
classic.
cartoons, and it's like he screams at Skapti Skapti when they're
Mm.
on the boat. They're like, the map that you drew for me is like we are in the middle of Hallgrímskirkja. I'm like, oh yeah, but like of course in the English version it's like he says in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean or whatever. But you know,
Hmm.
damn misleading. And the comics
It's
too, they mislead us a lot.
yeah. The translations were really good. Like for like
Yeah,
it was like
Fjölvi, the
Asterix,
company is like legendary.
Lucky Luke,
Yeah.
Asterix,
And this the
Valor
guy
Valor.
who is what's his name? Uh he's always like doing a real he works at this like newspaper company, and he's always doing like a bad job and breaking things and
Oh, Vecko.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't remember what that. I don't no idea what that would be called in
Yeah, I don't even
English.
know, but like all these things. But I
Yeah,
read the
that's
most
the
like
same as
Tintin and
the same because that's like a French comic, and like same guy that made Svalor Valor.
yeah, I used to read that too as a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah, yeah.
And
Well, that
just a
had.
couple of years ago, I was like, "What is the deal with the hat?" But it's like when you work at
Oh
the
yeah.
hotel or whatever, you're like this
Oh, and
boy Valley or something.
Prince Valiant.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I used to read like the library at my school. They had like so many Prince Valiant books.
I used to
Uh,
read also a lot. I own the first two, which is basically this volume has like the first, I guess, 10 comics, and then it's like making
mm.
of the comics. I love that stuff. It's
Oh, nice.
they made the movie Valerian and the Thousand Planets or whatever it was called, the movie.
Right.
And I own the two Valerian books. Um, and they are awesome. They're also from France. And the funny thing about these old Valerian books, There's a lot of Star Wars stuff in there, but this came before Star Wars, and it's like, wait, just a flipping second. George just read these books, huh? And it's also with Indiana Jones. Like he didn't know. I mean, they made the Adventures of Tintin the movie. It
Yeah.
was amazing, but then they just stopped and didn't make more. But they had plans for like all the books because the first movie is like 3 books together
Oh, you're
merged
talking
into
about
one.
the Peter Jackson film?
Yeah, and
Yeah, yeah,
Peter Jackson and
Steven Spielberg.
Steven
I
Spielberg,
think
they
it's
came together to make it, and it was funny in the making of. I watched the movie and then I watched the making of. You can imagine how my Lord of the Rings things have been going. It's as long as the damn movies, but like in that he said like he was at one point he was working on the first Indiana Jones movie, and
Mhm.
he was just reading this newspaper wherever he was in the world. And it was like Tintin. He was like, oh, they're doing like a Indiana Jones type of thing, and then he's
Mhm.
like, wait, just a second, 1940 or 40 or whatever. He's like, oh my god, I'm doing Tintin.
Yes, yes, exactly.
But
Uh,
yeah, I mean, Tomb Raider is like an Uncharted. It's all Tintin or Indiana Jones, just the
yeah,
same genre without knowing it, really.
yeah. Well, I mean, they probably like inspired, and then you can probably go back to the books. It was called like it was like Alan Quartermain, like those old
Mm,
adventure comics that my dad used to own.
yeah,
Uh, like yeah, there was like a lot of the stories, the pulp fiction
yeah,
of which has become a lot of like modern stories. It usually all comes from like the same place, like all space fantasy or space opera. You can sort of trace that back to like Dune, but then you can
mm,
even trace that sort of back to um like maybe like John Carter of Mars and like
yeah.
some even older stuff, and then some of that is also inspired by
Damn, I wish the John Carter movie
fairy
was a
tale stuff.
show.
Uh, uh,
I like
you
the
can't win them
movie.
all. You can't win them all.
I like the movie, but then I was thinking when I was watching the movie, I was like, ah, should have been a show.
Right.
Damn.
Right. Yes. Yes. Yes.
But
Now.
with your game,
Yep.
do you have like if we move away from the game you're making now, but do you have a game like a dream game? I know this is awesome working on this game, but like you must have a game that you dream about working
Um.
on, even if you would have to have 15 people with you. But
I
you know,
don't. So I would say that I'm more thinking these days. I'm more thinking about a story in general.
hmm,
Um. That yeah, I'm more thinking about a story which could be, maybe it could be a show, maybe it could be films, maybe it could be comics. I'm sort of just writing it down,
yeah,
and once I'm happy with the skeleton of the story, or like the structure, I will start making something. But as for like making games is like, because some stories, like the nature of some stories, like the linear nature of some stories, I guess when it comes to games, I'm much more interested in mechanics,
yeah.
like uh or
You're
like
gonna love Hades.
well, it's like or it's kind of like the thing of like when a game like I'm always interested when a game has an interesting blend of mechanic and story. So I really like playing RPGs.
You're gonna love
uh,
Hades.
yeah, but I no, but I particularly like my favorite game of all times, yeah, still
Oblivion.
is Disco Elysium.
Ah,
uh
have you seen the documentary on it? No
no,
Clip
no.
made a 5
Oh,
episode
they
documentary on it, full on documentary.
right. But
You're gonna have to watch it.
but like the idea that you can equip thoughts like
Yeah.
that I found that such like a fascinating, I found that such like a clever way to deal with like the concept of like
Mm.
thinking in a video game. So like so as for like games that I want to make is more just like I don't approach that from like I want to tell this story or that story. It's much more like I wonder like if we. I wonder if I could make a game that is has like these mechanics. I'm usually thinking about mechanics, but as for like
Yeah,
story stuff, there is something that I've been writing for a while now that I want to like keep working on. It'll probably take a while for it to become anything like grander because I'm a kind of a perfectionist and I need to like
yeah,
work around that because like you can't you need to you can't let perfect be the enemy of good.
yeah.
Like,
It's very hard on my side. Like, I think I sent you the chapter 3 of the book I'm
oh
really
yeah,
slowly
yeah,
doing,
you did.
and I that chapter, like, I wrote it slowly, really really slowly. I wanted to write that chapter. I mean, sure, writing a book is slow, but like I wrote this chapter very slow, like on
Mhm,
purpose, because I was just like, this has to be a very specific rhythm.
mhm.
And when the boys go in the forest, it has to be in this very specific way before the bullies find them. Like they
Yeah.
have to play a little bit on the bike. You have to kind of like the bike that they're playing with before the bullies come and destroy the bike. Because the
Yes.
bike is not a bike. The bike means different things. Like
Mhm,
the bike is basically uh like Stefan's the owner of the bike. The bike is basically just his confidence. Like
mhm.
they just
Yes.
he was afraid to show us this weird ass bike that looks like a motorcycle, but it's just duct taped. Like, and then the guys are like, "What the hell is this?" And then they try the bike, and it's like, "Oh my god, this is awesome!" And I swear it's faster than a normal bike, which it just isn't. And then the guys come and they destroy the bike. So I have a lot of stuff that means other things than what they mean. And just this chapter I sent you there, as you were talking about, like being a perfectionist, or
Mm.
I had to really, really take my time. But I'm glad that I can say, like, what I sent you is basically like done, and
Mhm.
that's the reason I wanted to reward myself by getting my friend Matt to audible
Yeah,
basically the heck out of
he
it.
yeah, he was really good.
He is just amazing. I need to get him on my podcast again because last time we were when I had him as a guest, we were going to talk about Sonic. We talked about everything else but that, but we need to have a Sonic podcast. But I want to talk about like games. I know you're working on games. I know you have this project that you would like to do in the future, as you were talking about. But do you have? Um, is there a game that you are waiting for to come again? And what I mean, for example, is like
Type of game?
yeah, type of game, but just very uh, perhaps similar. Like for me, um, I was looking for. It's actually a game that I'm playtesting. Like Balatro came out, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is so cool!" And I don't even
Yeah.
like poker, but this is so cool. But then I was thinking, man, I would like this to be. I want the Balatro game, but it's like darts or something. Like I want a different concept, but I want it to be as polished and just very much Balatro because there's a bunch of Balatro likes now. That's a thing now, right? But now there's a guy making a Balatro chess game, and it's called Gambonanza, and it's just
Mm.
Balatro but chess. And I'm like, oh my god! And I've been like playtesting this slowly with him. But the thing is about like playtesting is like he invites me to the playtest, like let's say on a Monday, and I
Mhm.
don't realize that I got this invite until like let's say Friday, and now
Mhm.
I have 2 days to play it, and I'm like, oh my god, like, and I can't really send him like, hey man, I was like, I didn't see it, and I didn't know. Maybe you guys had to do this with your game. There's like, I'm on a playtest. It says playtest 3 Q2. I guess Q2 means like part of release because
Uh,
next
could
upcoming
be.
is Q3 playtest
I,
1. So we're back to 1 for some reason.
I mean, it could be like quarter because they do like
Yeah.
Q1 for like first quarter of the year. So it's like first
Yeah,
3 months, second quarter.
because
So
the first playtest I did was only gameplay and visuals was like barely there, and the next one came, it was like visuals, but there's no particles and nothing fancy.
Mhm.
And now I guess next is probably gonna be just like visual cues, which I'm really I'm really critical of. Like everything about Balatro is like it's not just visual and smooth. All the sounds are just like
Mm.
great. They
Yeah,
hit hard, you know.
I've not
So I
had
wonder.
to. We didn't have to do anything like that, but we did essentially is just we have like a select group of people which we just send because on Steam you can send copies of the game out.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
even though you're not starting to sell it, you can just like give access to you can give an access code to people. And we did
Yeah,
that.
like
We
I
had
upload
like
a YouTube video and I can send you like an unlisted.
yeah, exactly. So like we had like a small group of people that would like test the game like that. But also like Piotr, the main the lead designer, he just has he has a very good eye and feel for the what the game how the game should feel,
Hmm.
um, which has been like reinforced by all the feedback that we have been getting. As for like games which I've been waiting for a type of game. I'm really into real-time strategy games, and it has actually been a little bit of a revival. There's a game, what is it called? Tempest Rising,
Oh.
that came out, which is basically like a spiritual sequel to Command and Conquer. But then there's a game called Dwarf Real Time Battle Simulator, which is like a spiritual successor to specifically Red Alert 2, with
Mm.
a kind of like top down sprite based thing. And then there's the other like uh, strategy games. And then I'm really looking forward to playing both the Total War Warhammer 40K
Yeah.
game, and but then also Total War Medieval 3. Um,
Ah,
which recently
I
I
am.
played because I was on a kick of like playing strategy games. I recently played the Stronghold, like they made like a remaster of it.
Yeah, I saw it.
And I really like that. I really got into that because it's just like there was something really cool about building your castle and then
Last year,
defending
I
it.
played through the story, like all of it, of StarCraft 2 because I never finished the stories. I just went back. And then there was a game that was supposed to be a spiritual successor to StarCraft called Stormbound.
Hmm.
I think it was Stormbound. I think that's the name. Something Storm. And it was made by some of the original devs of Starfield and all that stuff. But it just did not hit home.
Because I
Um,
remember I played the first episode of StarCraft 2, the Wings of Liberty one, and then
yeah,
like I didn't follow it up
yeah.
after
I
that,
highly
so I don't
highly
know.
recommend it. Like, I just went on like easy. Like, I just wanted the story and the fun mechanics. I didn't want to be having to have to be some type of a StarCraft 2 pro to finish the campaign because I'm not. I can go online for that.
Right,
Um, but
right.
yeah. And this Total War Warhammer 40K, I think it's a long overdue because like people love these the other Warhammer like the
The
fantasy.
fantasy one.
Yeah,
Yep, I
and
played a
and
lot
I
of
was
that.
always thinking like, why isn't there a 40K game like this? And then I just recently like thought about this, like, well, not recently, like just maybe couple of weeks before the announcement trailer came out. I was like, oh, I guess the universe is just kind of giving me. And then I instantly thought after I saw the trailer, I was like, okay, they're doing Oblivion remake. I want a Fallout remake, please.
I think it's mostly because Games Workshop is, for better or for worse, very protective of 40K in particular.
Yeah,
Um, which I mean, I've been like getting into the books and playing the video games and stuff and getting really into it. So that's a lot of. It's been a lot of fun, and like they're finally doing it. I also think that Creative Assembly, like because most of the Total War games have been medieval or like deal with
yeah,
like not sci-fi. The most like they had like artillery, and then they had like there's Total War Imperium, which was like then you had muskets and gunpowder units and stuff. But then with fantasy, they could try like flying units and more like range stuff. So I think they were just like building up like the tool sets of like how do you do a sci-fi space type
Yeah,
of game, but that still like can capture, because they want to make it a 40K game, but they also want to make sure that it feels like a Total War game.
yeah. I
So
mean, they have to keep the flow.
yeah, because
Yeah,
Total War is known for big battles, huge
yeah.
armies, that kind of stuff, which like is what 40K is about.
Mm,
But like they wanna say, and it so far, I mean, Creative Assembly has a mixed record,
mm.
but hopefully this will be one of the good ones.
Yeah. Before we wrap this up, I think one topic that I wanna, well, a little bit of a discussion, I guess, before we take the last topic, like because we don't really know much about the 40K game that is coming out, this Total War,
They
but
actually did. I think they
it
did a today a
did they
like
do a gameplay?
no, I think they did not a gameplay. They did a they were like doing a press conference or a press
Oh,
press thing today where they were like showing.
oh,
They
yeah,
didn't show. I don't think they showed new gameplay, but they were like showing some of the talking about the stuff that they were thinking about doing,
oh
or
shit, the Cosmos
like they're
hit me again.
yeah.
Uh, so like I was always thinking, because in the gameplay trailer, like barely at the end of the first trailer that we saw,
Oh yeah, this
there was like
mouth.
war happening on the planet
Mhm.
and in the sky, in space. So I was like, how are they gonna do that?
So
And
the way the from the thing that I read, but I didn't get a chance to like watch it myself, but I read like the summary thing where each planet will be like each planet will have its own continents, which is like
mm,
the zones that you're fighting for. So you can have and then you're like moving between planets. So it seems that like you're not like just attacking a planet and then you're fighting for the planet and then you move to the next one. It's like you can actually have like two armies capturing different points on a planet. I don't know how many it will be, and I don't
mm,
know like how big the overall map is. Maybe they mentioned it, but I didn't see it yet. But it seems that like it is fairly like you have much like in Warhammer, where or like in other Total War games where you have
yeah,
like each zone has like a city that's usually like or a province, and then like in the Total War, the fantasy, the Total War Warhammer games, you had like the province, and then each province was like split into parts which each had their
yeah,
own like city or castle
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
It seems like each planet will be like a province
yeah.
where it will have
They
like
have to do it like that, I
zones.
think.
Yeah. So, but that's cool because then you can have like contested planets,
Yeah,
which I'm just looking forward to seeing it because it's gonna be uh hopefully it's gonna be good. It's definitely gonna be interesting because I'm also like I also play like games that are like jank sometimes because also making games makes you interested in like I'm the type of person where sometimes when I'm playing something, I will just like stop and go look at textures. Really, like I will look at models like really up close and be like, oh, how
mm,
did they like make this? And then I'm like, oh, I see where they like did the UV mapping and all of that stuff.
mm,
Things that like I know for a fact that like most people don't see that, but
yeah,
there's a developer somewhere who's like, yay, they noticed my hard work. Because
yeah.
it's a type of thing where like if you're doing your job really good, nobody will notice because it's
I
just
forgot what game, and there's probably a lot of games that use this today, but this was like one of the coolest uh stuff how they fixed problems. So like I wish I would remember what game it is, but like let's just say they probably don't use it in that game, but like, let's just say like Sea of Thieves.
yeah.
You see what you see on the screen, like first person view,
Mhm.
but the game is only rendering what you see. Everything behind you is gone. But then when you
Oh yeah,
turn, it slowly reveals it, and then everything that was where you were looking is gone. Like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
so cool. It saves like render space, and I forgot what it's called, but that is a freaking
That's that.
genius move.
Yeah, that's that optimization stuff, which
Yeah,
hopefully some of the bigger studios will get better at optimizing their games, so they're not
but
taking fucking half a terabyte
I'm
on the
trying to
hard
explore
drive.
a planet in Starfield and like.
Yes, right, exactly.
But yeah, I think yeah. Before we end this, I want my guests to always kind of like tell them what's happening. I mean, they know that you're developing a game, but do you have
Mhm.
anything else? It doesn't necessarily have to be like what people are gonna have to see from you, but just live stuff. Like you have a
Oh, right.
plan for the gym, or you want to go to the duck pond in Reykjavik and try to capture a duck, or what's the plan?
Mhm. I don't think you can legally capture those ducks, but uh, no, like life wise, it's just keep working on the game. Um, Possibly like contact people and see, because we're like right now we're like seeing how it does. It's early
Mm.
access, people can buy it, so we can see like how many people buy it and how much revenue that will generate. But as for me, I'm just gonna keep working on the game. I'm drawing, I'm doing D&D courses, like I'm going to like community centers and stuff and
You
teaching
go to
people.
Nexus or just some other places?
No, not Nexus. I go to like the local community center and like a place in Reykjavik that's like
Mm.
for people with special needs.
Yeah,
And
that's awesome too.
we're doing like a course for like hey, you want to play D&D? I'm gonna teach you how. And then I have my orcs. I have a lot of paint. Like I also like painting the painting the miniatures. It's so therapeutic. It's just you're just
Yeah.
like I'm just listening to music and just going like
I've never done like small. I mean, I have like a flight model, like a Spitfire, but like there's
right.
nothing very delicate really. I mean, but then I have like a big version of the DeLorean from Back to the Future. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of tiny stuff there, and I always wanted to just sit down and just build the DeLorean, but you know, yeah, I think it
Yeah.
would be probably awesome. There's
Mhm.
not a lot of painting on it, but it's gonna be just so cool to hold the flux capacitor and just like
Yeah.
glue it inside because I know I'm gonna have to.
Other than that, I think yeah, I'm gonna the I gotta go and like we're gonna run some sets in the Discord because like
Mm.
I'm gonna play the game with some of the people that have bought it and are in the Discord. So yeah, we're gonna just run some set, try the new update. Like we're doing a little balancing, so we're gonna do that. Just hang around, talk to people. Um, yeah, that's pretty much what my life is these days. It's mostly animating, um, and I need to go get back to the gym. I'm kind of like recovering from an injury that I had
Yeah,
earlier this
you
year.
should just kind of recover before you go because it's just gonna be bad
Yeah,
again.
because you don't want to be in that situation where you're like, oh, I feel better, and then you go to the gym, and then you're like,
I
ah,
feel worser.
I feel so good, and then it's like, oh, I didn't feel as good as I thought I did, and now I need to go
Yeah,
back to not doing anything. So I think it's much safer to like give yourself time
yeah,
when it's like been like maybe like a week or 2 weeks with like, all right, we're safe. All right, now okay, now we can go.
yeah.
Because
It's
also
important.
I'm not like doing any sport competitions. There's no reason for me to like rush things.
Yeah, it's just for you. So
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
it's not
So
like I mean, I guess you're leveling up, but it's not like you're playing a trial and you have 14 days to reach 60 or whatever.
no,
So
exactly. So that's me. Yeah.
yeah, for me, it's just, I mean, I have this dilemma what to do with Leikjarinn and just at this point, I've back in the past I've had like this great success, and then just life kicked in, and then I had this like mini success, which was like London and Game TV and all these streams and all these companies sending me games to try out for them, which is of course happening now, but not as frequent and stuff. And I've been streaming so many years, and my kind of like the viewer numbers are not where they were, but it's always a blast to talk to the people in the chat, and sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down. But what I'm more interested at the moment is like, what if I just go back to what I was doing before I streamed, and that's YouTube, and just kind
Mm,
of explore it again, do some let's plays, do a long play, do a review, do a live stream, do a podcast. Because I mean, I can do all these things on Twitch, but the thing is, I can talk on a stream in front of no one for like the entire stream basically, because it will be recorded, and I think it's just somewhere in my mind like it's being recorded, and that's just from my YouTube days. Because when you're doing a let's play, you're
Mhm.
talking to the audience, but you're talking to no one until you upload it,
Yeah.
and even then you're talking to no one because you're talking to no one because they
Mhm.
have to watch it first, and they have to take it like you're talking to them. So it's very
Yeah.
strange, but it works because YouTube just kind of works like that. But
It's
that's basically what I try to do.
yeah. It's a tricky, it's a competitive field out there. It's also very competitive for like making video games, being like
Yeah,
small time developers. Thankfully, like we are. I mean, like
there's not a lot of fighting games today.
well, there's a lot of indie stuff, obviously, but
Do you have to look for like a
fighting
wave to
games are
write or something? Like
not necessarily like we're not really like concerned with that. We just like make the things that we want to make.
hmm,
Like and like we are independent, which is great because that means that like we're our own bosses. But that means that like funds is a bit difficult to come by. Like we don't have a publisher or something like that to deal with, which is like is the like the good thing about being independent. I guess you're your own boss and you're like you've
yeah,
got
you don't
no.
want a angry video game nerd screw up tech situation happening.
Yeah, exactly. But so I mean, we're just gonna make the game that we want to make, and every like all the feedback we've gotten so far suggests that like we're on the right track. So we're just gonna keep going like on this path, and even if it's not like like even if it's not like financially successful, because
Mm.
well, like we like because the way that a lot of people have told me, it's like you make your first game, it will most likely not be a success like financially, but like then you have made a game, and then
Yeah,
like the next time you do something with
that
it,
is the success,
yeah, it's like and then because you always build on something, which and that reminds me of like drawing pixel art, which is that drawing pixel art forces you to like limit yourself.
Hmm.
uh, and I've noticed that I've gotten a lot better in just normal drawing, even though I've been spending a lot of
Yeah,
time
because
drawing.
like you are like stuck here, but then
Yeah,
like you draw like a pixelated pirate queen, and then you want
yeah.
to render it differently, and now you're like, oh wow, I can just kind of draw it
Well,
all now.
yeah, and it's just like I like because you need to pay so much attention to values, to shapes, because you have such a limited palette, you have such limited canvas to work with.
Mm.
So then, like when you don't have those limitations anymore, but you like have trained yourself to be like very conscious of like where the light is coming from and values and all of that stuff. So that's yeah, that's a lot of fun, and we're gonna keep going.
Yeah, I mean you gotta do it. So yeah, it's gonna be really cool when you get your game is in early access now on Steam.
Mhm. Yep.
Uh, I think
For
I
for
got
eight for eight
99.
7.99.
7.99. I'm gonna have
Yes.
to check my email. I forgot if I gotten uh, some
I'll
type
send
of
you. I'll send you a code. Don't worry about
I'll,
it.
I'll
I'll
pay
send
for it. God damn it! But I forgot. I forgot if I got an email or not. But because I was gonna send to because you told me you were like the only Icelandic guy. I was gonna write the whole thing in Icelandic. Like, please give me this game.
Oh,
uh,
that would have been very funny.
I'll play it for 500,000 Icelandic krona, please. Thank you. Bye. Hey, it
I was
sent
like,
me or something.
thank you for your attention. Unfortunately, we're not looking for it. I've been sending like so many emails. I've gotten really good at what I want to say is like corporate voice.
Mm, yeah.
Where it's like, we hope this email finds you well. Blah 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 blah. Blah. Yeah.
Hashtag play D&D.
Yes, exactly.
All right. So it was great to have you here on the podcast.
Thank you
You
for
are
having me.
number 7.
Woo.
My next guest is probably going to be my friend Ragnar. We are like retro video game collectors, so we're probably going to talk about some collecting and things. We're going to probably talk a little bit about chess, which is strange to say, but you'll understand once we start talking about it, because we're both like, he isn't new, I am new, and then it was like a shared interest that chess is also, because me and Ragnar, we are dangerous. If we get a new topic, we just completely go all in on it, and then that topic, that interest goes away, but it's still there somewhere. It's gonna explode again at a later date. So it's going to be probably interesting to have my friend Ragnar on. This was very interesting. I would like to know when I get you on again in the future. I would like to see updates and just maybe delve deeper into game development.
Oh yeah,
Like,
you should
because there's
probably
so
like.
much.
You should definitely have my
The other half, yeah.
my partner like Piotr, because he can talk about like the programming and dev stuff, whereas like I'm more in the art and animation stuff. Or we can even have like a three-way
Yeah.
podcast.
I can have
So-
six dudes on this, and women. I can have six humans
Six
on this thing.
persons.
Yeah.
Six.
I guess I can have one AI there. I mean, people are doing AI
Five
podcasts.
persons, one
5
AI.
people. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining the Leikjarinn podcast. I will do quite soon a self-cast. The self-cast is just me, but like, as my first Leikjarinn podcast episode was called just me, myself, and I went into like a whole thing, and that was actually edited quite a lot, because there was a lot of stuff I was showing off on screen, my collection. I showed you like a bunch of Tintin things, and just like overall things I'm interested in. That was fun, but as you guys know, as I've said on the YouTube channel, my Adobe Premiere is on like a hold, and I can't do anything about it until a little bit later, hopefully in the beginning of next week, because my account is shared with my friend, and my friend is like AWOL, like he doesn't answer me or nothing, so I can't do anything until he answers my goddamn emails and calls and all that stuff. Well, I should probably call him, right? Yeah. How much does it cost to call someone in Japan? He's not Japanese. He just lives there. He recently moved there. Might have to cost me a lot. I'll just briefly call, like, answer, and then I hang up. But yeah, you guys know him from my streams and maybe my older YouTube. It's Bandit. Bandit, if you're watching, answer me, goddammit. Jesus.